Howdy, howdy, y'all. This is another Maharaj chapter. Um, didn't get to not. I was hoping to try to do this outside. I like doing these outside, but the lighting is being weird today because I'm doing this a little bit later than normal. So it is what it is. Such is life. Um, anyways, but yeah, this chapter made me feel things. I'll just say it out front. I think it's something about like the questioner themselves. They're like this 24-year-old kid, and when I say 24-year-old kid, I'm only 32. But you know what I mean? Like they're still a pretty young person, and they're this guy trying to pursue this yogi life, and something about that really resonated with me. Uh, Maybe I felt a deep connection with that. Um, yeah, this is just oh, so for example, here's one like almost right off the bat. It's like a few lines down from the beginning of the chapter. Um, uh, Maharaj. Maybe the periods of yoga and boga alternate. First bogi, then yogi, then again bogi, then again yogi. Questioner. What may be the purpose? Maharaj. Weak desires can be removed by introspection and meditation, but strong, deep rooted ones must be fulfilled and their fruits, sweet or bitter, tasted. So, I've definitely felt that. I think I've felt that all throughout my life for sure. I'm sure you have too. Let me know down in the comments, obviously. Um, just I I felt that in that yeah my entire life for sure. I will have these desires, and definitely I will have deep introspection about why am I desiring this? What's going on here? And yeah, definitely that does definitely if it's a very shallow desire too. I think that's another way of looking at it too. It's like how shallow is the desire? Is it like a very like hedonistic, maybe like just a very just something like that just feels good, type of desire, like oh I just desire this thing because it feels good. Which I guess ultimately that's where a lot of desire comes from, right? But you know what I mean? Like it's just a very like shallow, hedonistic, fun pleasure desire versus like something that's much more deep rooted, like I guess that like sort of contradiction of the irony at least of desiring self-realization and enlightenment, like that. That's what definitely I would say, yeah, for sure. That's the deeper sort of I guess desire that yeah, that can't be removed, as he would say. um the questioner right afterwards says, why then should we pay tribute to yogis and speak slightly of bogies? Are all are yogis in a way? Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, all are yogis in a way. That's what the questioner kind of responds to that point with, which is, okay, I think I was, when I first been reading, I'm like, oh, following, like, yeah, okay, good point. Um, Maharaj says, on the human scale of values, deliberate effort is considered praiseworthy. In reality, both the yogi and the bogi follow their own nature according to the circumstances and opportunities. The yogi's life is governed by a single desire to find the truth. The bogi serves many masters, but the bogi becomes a yogi, and the yogi may get a rounding up in a bout of boga. The final result is the same. And yeah, yeah, I just like that. Yeah, just something about that just it seems it's inherently true. There's just something about that just I can't. It's like, yeah, of course. That's a good. I think that was just a good response to that response. The questioner then brings up Buddha. Buddha. Buddha is reported to have said that it's tremendously important to have heard that there isn't enlightenment, a complete reversal and transformation in consciousness. The good news is compared to a spark in a shipload of cotton. Slowly but relentlessly, the whole of it will turn to ashes. Similarly, the good news of enlightenment will sooner or later bring about a transformation. And Maharaj agrees. Which is funny because I always part I found interesting too. Um, just because for me personally, I've come from Christian roots. I used to be pretty Catholic and whatnot. So that reminds me a lot of like how they would when people would talk about like with Jesus. That's part of it as well. It's like you need Jesus. You need to have heard about the news, the good news, in order to have this enlightenment, or in this case, going to heaven and whatnot, being saved by the Lord. So there's definitely an interesting kind of relationship there, and it's just logically kind of makes sense. Like how are you supposed to? I mean, there's a logic behind it. I mean, one could argue, well, if you're just living that life, but that gets the point of that's the point of enlightenment, though. It's like you have to be kind of conscious of what's going on to a certain extent, right? Like this, that you're consciously, you're thoughtful about it. So that's yeah. So that's kind of logically, right? That there's a logic to that makes sense. Another part I found interesting is the questioner. He brings up, that in some schools of yoga, they're obliged to keep silent for 7, 12, 15, or even 25 years. And I found it interesting that Maharaj agreed with this practice. He said, yes, the inner fruit must ripen. Until then, the discipline, the living in awareness must go on. Gradually, the practice becomes more and more subtle until it becomes altogether formless. Yeah, and once it's just all. Oh, yeah, it's just overall, like I said, a lot of this chapter. There's something about it. I think it's maybe, like I said, maybe my own personal life and circumstances, which I may probably will make a video about soon as well, separate from the series. But there's something about, yeah, like I say, I just feel so much of it. It's not just a matter of being it. Or a matter of just conceptualizing. It's not just about the conception. It's not just about like oh, I understand this idea. There's something about this I'm starting to personally just just like almost experience. So which I think they've talked about this in previous chapters before as well. There's a couple other. Oh, here's another good Maharaj portion. This is in response to the questionnaire. He says Buddha too has said that for the attainment of nirvana, one must go to living beings. Consciousness needs life to grow. Maharaj, the world itself is contact, the totality of all contacts actualized in consciousness. The spirit touches matter and consciousness results. Such consciousness, when tainted with memory and expectation, becomes bondage. Pure experience does not bind. Experience caught between desire and fear is impure and creates karma. And this is like a perception of karma that especially us in the Western world really don't understand. We just think of karma as like, oh, you did something bad, so now bad stuff's going to happen to you, and oh, you did something good, and so good stuff's not going to happen to you. And it's like, no, this is it's way more. It's not really necessarily just about the quote unquote goodness and badness of said action. It's about it's really almost like I think of it mostly like in a very much a energy sort of way. Oh, cat toy. Sorry about that, cat toy. Yeah, like I said, the energy of it. It's like there's an energy with karma, and it's like it's always when you do an action, you're releasing karma. You're releasing an energy out into the world, out into the universe, and the reactions and all that stuff is karma. At least that's the way I kind of try to conceptualize it. I found this part really interesting too. So in here, so the questioner, talks about how his personal life, and I found it really interesting. The response to Maharaj says, he says, yeah, like go live your life, go do stuff. Just go find go take over your dad's business, marry find a girl that marry her, blah blah blah. And then at one point, he says the five senses and three qualities, gunas, are your 8 steps in yoga, and I am is the great reminder. You can learn from them all you need to know. You can learn from them all you need to know. Be attentive. Inquire ceaselessly. That is all. And the questioner, if just living one's life liberates, why are all not liberated? And Maharaj, I think I'll try, and yeah, I might end on this one because this video is going a little long, but this is, I felt like I say, this is a very good, another very good quote. Like I say, all his quotes are very good, but I liked his response to this question, which I think is a very good question in response to this sort of inquiry. Maharaj, all are being liberated. It is not what you live, but how you live that matters. The idea of enlightenment is the utmost importance. Just to know that there is such a possibility changes one's entire outlook. It acts like a burning match in a heap of sawdust. All the great teachers did nothing else. A spark of truth can burn up a mountain of lies. The opposite is also true. The sun of truth remains hidden behind the cloud of self-identification with the body. Like I said, they talk about how important it is to spread the truth. How that being realized, you're neither ordinary nor extraordinary. It's an awareness thing. Yeah. And then he ends on like the dream thing, He's talked about this in previous chapters with how his dreams and blah blah blah. It's like as an example of how like the world is of mind, and beyond mind and all that. But yes, so I think I'll end there. Yeah. So like I said, this chapter, it's really hard to describe, which is kind of difficult because that's this whole series, right? So, but yeah, I would say like this one is maybe a loss for words, and I'm starting to definitely feel this book more. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how. I'm just like I say, I'm looking forward to it. It's a lot. I have a lot more chapters, but I'm just looking forward to it. This has been fun. It's been real. I hope you all have a good one. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.